What's good, Wager World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada. In here with my guy, my co-host, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, Spread? How are you today, man?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I need to get out, but it's going to be hot today. I had the last of my good weather last week, man. It's going to be. I got to make myself suffer now to get my exercise in, but I'm sure it's even worse for you there. So not a lot of complaining here.
It's dry. That's one thing I can
Yeah.
say. It's dry. I get
Is
mine
it
in
humid in
early.
Houston?
Oh, it's way better living here than Houston as far as in like
But
the
is Houston got a lot of humidity?
what? It's horrible. And then all of a
Oh,
sudden
okay.
now, because of global warming of I don't know the hands of God or something, now they flood every year there too. And it's
Yeah.
hurricane every year. So you getting super hot, sticky heat, and then you're getting a chance that your house will be floating. But the people there are excellent. It's nothing they have to do with it. I love the people there, but man, the weather sucks in Houston. Everyone knows a lot of mosquitoes if you're in certain areas, bugs and stuff. Yeah. None of that in Vegas. It's so dry. It's no bugs here really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So man, we've been out for it seemed like forever because we took off yesterday on Monday because it wasn't really much to talk about. A very short MLB schedule and a lot of games were rained out on top of it being a short schedule. We don't really focus on that anyway. So we were, didn't have an NBA game, not much tennis because of rain also yesterday. So it was kind of light. So we took off yesterday, took care of some personal things. But we had a winning week last week, right? 18th out of 19th. No, excuse me, 19 out of 20. Now we're going for 20 out of 21. I apologize. So I'm about to take it from us. We've won 19 of 20 after last week. Let's talk about yesterday's news. You locked it in with Swiatek, man. She's a monster, man. She's mowing through all
Yeah.
competition.
I don't want to take anything away from Coco. I thought that was just Swiatek's brilliance.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think Coco's got a great
Poor
future.
girl, Brian. I
And I
felt
don't
bad
think it.
for her.
I don't think it was. I would matter who was across the net from her the way she's playing right now. So, but also she's like Nadal. This is her best surface, so this isn't necessarily going to keep going, right? I don't think
Yeah.
she's the. It'll be interesting. I mean, she was winning and she was covering spreads. I'll be interested to see how she does on grass. I think the grass will be pretty good for her, and then I think on hard courts, there's a lot of American players and stuff like that, Canadian players that could challenge her. If Osaka gets back and Andreescu gets back, so we'll see if she
Why is she
continues her
so
level of
good on
dominance.
clay? Is it like Ostapinko and her are so good on clay? Is it because the ball's so slow it gives them a chance to really use their power and put it where they want? Is that it?
Yeah, and then they can hit hard, so they can still hit winners on clay. But their opponents, if they can't dial up that pace, I mean, they can just play perfect defense. So they
Gotcha.
grew up on it. They slide the best. They have the best mobility. So yeah, it's just that's what her game is bred for. So it'll be fun. I'm going to go back to betting her next year on clay season, but I'll be interested to watch a couple matches before I just go all in almost every
That's
match
why
like
I
I was
can't
doing this
respect her
time.
dominance, even though she has the record. She's about to definitely eclipse it because I'm sure whoever she plays, what tournament she's playing next?
I don't know. I don't know
Probably
if
she
she's gonna.
probably sit out a couple till I'm sure
Well,
she'll
there's only
warm up.
3 weeks to Wimbledon, so there's this week the
She'll
250s.
warm up. She'll take one
Maybe
somewhere.
she'll play the 500 next week. I didn't look to the entry
Yeah.
list yet, and then of
I
course
suggest
Wimbledon.
it because if she doesn't, the first round of Wimbledon against anybody, she could lose. So if
I
I was her,
guess,
I would.
but it's that
Yeah,
128 field, so she's gonna get an ITF player.
yeah, yeah.
It'll
Most
be an
likely.
easy warm up,
Yeah,
and
because she'll
she'll
be
have
number
time to
one.
practice. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about her. I need to see from her to respect. I respect her run because numbers don't lie. It don't matter. You can only play who comes across the net from you. And she's done a great job of taking care of her business. Not much competition though really has threatened her. Like you said, Clay season, she's a beast. But for me to respect her as a true number one, she has to get another major in the same season that she's getting this French. She has to. She has to either get, and it doesn't have to be this year because she's very young. She could be next year, 2 years from now. Then I respect her, the true champion that I know she is, instead of just being a specialist. Because you everyone who's had their reign, man, they've won at least two of them. You're gonna get the
she.
Australian and
I
the
mean,
US.
she's
You're
gonna
gonna
get
get
it.
the
She's gonna get it.
Wimbledon and US. You think
U.S.
so?
Open, yeah, U.S. Open's gonna be a
US
nice one
Open, I
for her.
think she could definitely win. I don't see why
It's
she wouldn't be
slow
able to win with her
there.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be slow. There's not enough time. I mean, like, I don't even know what's going on with Osaka right now.
That's how I was.
Same with
You took the words out of my
Andreescu.
mouth. That's the only challenge. That's the only person who could beat her in that type of environment in the U.S. Open, and she's just not focused right now on tennis. As it seems, like she's enjoying her money, so
Yeah.
she has the right to do that. So great call for you on Swiatek. Man, I had my first loss on the USFL. First half, Houston finally went down. Trusted a quarterback I'd never put my eyes on. I trusted the system more, and bad choice. I'm going to be fading them the rest of the season, as long as Clayton Thorson is out. Their backup, he can't hit anyone open. He couldn't throw a dime in the ocean. Guy's wide open. He's missing them, man. He's missing them bad. And he's not athletic enough to try to scramble and make something happen with his feet, but he tries, and getting sacked, and they looked horrible. And their best running back was out. So we got hit by the injury bug this week. It was up to the last second before I knew Thorson wasn't going to be playing. He had came out the previous game with someone hit his hand while he was passing. And he kind of had an injury to his hand, but he still was practicing a little bit during the week, and they hadn't ruled him out completely, and they ended up ruling him out that day. So ain't like they were going to the playoffs. They're 1-6, So, but we will be riding our new trend to follow in the league. We have to adjust. Remember, I was giving you guys a lot of little hints for when you bet in USFL. We were rolling with going against the Maulers early in the year, and that worked well. Now they've adjusted. They have a better quarterback. They're covering points. People are listening to their nonsensical coach, and their players are. So they bought in. So he's having them playing better. It's not equating the wins, but they are keeping it within the spread. For us bettors, that's all that matters. The new trend to ride on USFL would be the Philadelphia Stars over game on their games. They got a great quarterback. I don't know how he was the backup at the beginning of the year. They had a lot of hype behind the quarterback, Brian. I believe it was Brian Thomas. I believe Brian. I forgot his name. Brian Scott. Pardon me, Brian Scott. He got injured, but he was leading the league in passing when he got injured. The first play that this guy comes in, he throws a 70-yard bomb for a touchdown. He's been rolling ever since. He's a good quarterback, man. He had like a 90-yard run yesterday on top of his ability to throw. He hung in the pocket one time, dude, like a lineman, like right in his face, about to sack him. He sidesteps him and throws like an 80-yard dime, So this kid has been balling out of control. And so you guys look for the over on the Philadelphia Stars games. Anytime that you see them play, the books have been lacking. They've been throwing up like 43s, and they've been hitting like 30s on their own. So let's get to talk about a little bit about the finals, man. Draymond decided to call up WrestleMania and tell him he was auditioning, and showed him his newest moves, like the leg drop on Jaylen Brown, the headbutt on Marcus Smart. Yeah, I even saw him attempt the DDT. It was unsuccessful though. What do you think about Game 2 and your Warriors?
I think everyone thinks that NorCal's soft, and that this what happens, and they got punked. If I get out there, and you're just throwing me around, and the refs aren't calling it, I got two options, right? I could either
start throwing them back, and they start calling fouls.
I could either hit you back, or I could whine to the referees. The Boston Celtics chose option number 2.
No, they didn't whine.
They got physically punked.
They got punked. About a tick when it got ridiculous. In the third quarter, it was ridiculous, man. They fought through it.
You just mad because you on the wrong side.
This is the very reason
the referees didn't matter. They lost that game. Referees don't matter.
No.
Referees were not worth 30 freaking points
for them until the Warriors could get.
They weren't worth 30 freaking
the Warriors
points.
Would have been down 25 the first half.
When I took my loss, I came on here and gave the team the credit. I said the Boston Celtics played better.
Credit. I'll give credit when credit is due. Now, after they turned it on, the blew out. After that time, the Celtics had already conceded. They had done what they need to do. The coach already got a tech. He already told his staff they're not going to let us get out here with a win tonight. Like, man, come on, man. If you're sitting in a biased,
if you make the shots, there's nothing refs can do.
If you're sitting in a biased position, you knew that was some real suspect Vegas refereeing going on in that game, and especially in the third quarter. Dude, if they let their call, they win a bonus like in 2 minutes. But then they have Boston when they're trying to play aggressive back. We get the Celtics getting the bonus, and then when the Warriors try to playing aggressive, clothesline of people coming to the goal, pushing them. Draymond is doing like running blocks for his picks. Like, come on, man, these are moving screens. These are so illegal. What are we playing out here? Like, you let this
your own
run.
screens.
He like a fullback. He's like hitting the first block and then shedding to the next one, hitting the next block. I'm like, what the hell is this? This isn't basketball, man.
That's how they played when we grew up. Go watch the Detroit Pistons in 1988. Go watch the Detroit Pistons in 1988. Go watch the New York Knicks in 1993. Go watch the Miami Heat, the very last series.
They don't let people play like that anymore. You can't put your hands on people, and it's okay long as you give them an equal whistle. You have to give an equal whistle, man. You got to let them do the same thing on the other side. You can't start calling these little touch fouls. It was horrible. The first half, I had
the referee is not the reason the Boston Celtics lost.
I won on the game. I had the first half. Me and my clients +3.
I'm not saying you did. I'm sure you can. But I'm just saying.
I wanted to feel the vibe.
I'm just saying the referees are not the reason they lost. The Golden State Warriors were the better team. Did the referees make the half-court shot
to end the third quarter? I don't want to hear about the circus shots. The circus shots.
I mean, shit goes in, it goes in.
No, it's not sustainable, bro. I want to see them do that in Boston, the circus shots. Well, I know who to call. I already got them on speed dial.
I know. That's why I'm not going to complain when the Warriors lose game 3.
I know, my good buddy.
We know how this goes. And we said it going into the game. We said it on the preview, right? We said they don't want this series to go 2-0 because it's over if they lose, right? We said it. We said it going in. You got to know that.
You know what happened?
This isn't the National Fairness Association. It's the National Basketball Association, and they've been janky for years. You don't think that I don't know about bad officiating? Who's my favorite team? What is the biggest ripoff of all time of every single NBA series?
I'm sure you're a WWE fan.
This is part of it. It's part of it.
WWE and the NBA are pretty much the same lane.
It's been like this for 20 years.
Finals. This is ridiculous. And what's so crazy? I know this has been going on for years. Like, we've been watching.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why you're mad. Like, you knew it's going to happen. That's why I'm mad.
Got involved. I started looking at it different.
Yeah, I guess.
When I was a kid, it was just like, yeah, they're fighting back. Yeah.
No, I mean, we know this stuff. We know this league. We know it's janky.
Super janky. So we're going to just say great job, Warriors.
Thank you. I thought they did do a great job.
Yeah, they took advantage of the opportunities, unlike something you've seen them do before, like Dallas that night. Remember, they were doing everything to try to help the Mavericks.
And when they tried to help the Nets in that one game, in game 3 or game 4, right? And they fouled Tatum out, and it was absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Like, Tatum didn't do nothing, and they just fouled him out. So, I mean, it's the league. And it's why I'm sure when next fall rolls around, you're going to be capping college basketball and not the NBA because it's a league of entertainment. It's not a league of fairness. And hey, the entertainment came in because when the Warriors are in the finals, them ratings, they popped. Biggest finals since 2019. Way better than the Lakers stuff.
You got to believe that in Boston, Draymond, he either gets 2 ticks and thrown out the game, or
he's going to get 3 fouls within the first.
Yes. Yeah. And 2 of them are going to be offensive. They have to make the story more even now because the whole
they're going to. And that's why we're going to be talking about this series till game 7. I don't think they're going to let. I mean, obviously, you have to make the shots, and there's times we've seen them try to rig it and it just don't work. But I think these teams are both good enough, and I think they're close enough. I think it's going 7, and then I think once it gets there, they don't care.
The NBA is just like the government; they just do stuff. It's just
like WWE. You already said it. It's just like WWE. It's the same.
Like, so what it's entertainment product. Tomorrow they're going to
say, who's over with the fans? That's who's going to win. They want that crowd response. Yeah.
So we go to move to game 3. Game 3 is tomorrow, right? So we'll preview.
Yeah, we'll preview it. I mean, we're gonna wait for those rep assignments. So let's not do the show before. I think it's 9 a.m. our time.
I've already.
So you think it's Foster for sure? You don't think they save him for 4?
If you guys get him in 4, it's gonna be real trouble in North Carolina because they're gonna win game 3. So if he goes 4, the Celtics are 12-0 when he's the ref.
We'll see that. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, it would be
Drew,
interesting to
they're
see when they put
12-0 in the playoffs. Every time he's ref, they've won.
Yeah, and did you see the record with the guy that was on last night
What was it?
or whatever game 2? Tony
No,
Brothers, they're like terrible with him out there.
Oh,
They're like 4-15 or something since 2015 or something.
And why didn't you tell me that?
I don't think I knew when we were talking because we talked on Friday and they don't release the things till Sunday morning.
I don't know how I got by on the first half +3. I should have been all on the Warriors. I know better. Like for the game, I should have been like 30 grand on that. It was the easiest bet in the world. Okay, man. We move on.
Yeah.
All right. So
let's jump into
the parlay today, man.
All right. So like Iga, I'm going to take another player who I really like. Now, I mean, obviously she's not the same level because no one's on Iga's level. But Belinda Bencic has just fantastic grass numbers. Let me just go over this real quick for everybody. Bencic on her career on grass, hole percentage of 76.6, break percentage of 31.7, which doesn't seem that impressive, but on grass, that's really good. A lot of these women are between 18 and 25. Bencic, 38 and 17 in her career on grass. She's playing Anna Kalinskaya on grass in her career. Hole percentage of 59%, break percentage of 17%, and she's 1-8 in her career. I think Bencic absolutely blows her out. I'm going with Belinda Bencic -5.5 games.
Kalinskaya, the only thing I can say about it, she looks good.
She does.
Her game is
Belinda cleans up nice well too. Belinda cleans up nice well. I've seen some of her.
She's not my.
Have you seen her when she's on them magazine covers though? All right. Well, that's me. I'll take my little Swiss Miss.
Yeah, you take Bishop. I'm good with her. I want her if I was single, but I'm not. Okay, so we're gonna go with Barrage. Hey man, the number's juicy. She's plus 225. She's gonna be at home because the tournament is she's a big fan favorite there. She's 23, so she's not a young buck at all. She's just not getting on these levels now, but I really like her aggressive play. I like her style of play, and it goes really well on the grass. She's facing Zhang. Zhang she's not been that good, man. She's just been squeaking by, beating a lot of lower level people. She's not having problems with people who are in the top 50. I know Barrage is rated 235 right now, but I just really, really think the home field advantage for her and playing on a surface that she's really more equipped with. She was born and raised on it, and she has a game to fish the grass. As long as she's not committing errors, she should blow Zhang off the court. So that plus 225 looks really great. There's no need to take the +4 games. I feel like if she loses, it's not going to be a 2 tiebreakers. And why it should be tiebreakers, not because I said that.
No, but even if it is, regardless, that's all. ATP, go ahead and take those. Take the games, and the WTA, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Every single time you like the dog, if you took the money line instead of the plus games, you'd be up so much more money.
Exactly.
ATP, take the games, especially on grass. Especially on grass.
And if you guys have access to bet live with these women, a lot of times you catch women who are better, and you know she's better than the other girl, and she gets broken. It's a lot of value after breaks in women's tennis, right, Spread?
Yeah. Now it's going to be a little different. I mean, we just came up, on clay. That's the money because a lot of these women have 40% break percentages on clay.
Right.
Here, like I said, a lot of them drop down between 18 and 20, but still, it's just not the same. So it's crazy. It's only a 5-week season too, this grass season. So
very short season.
It sucks. I actually like it a lot. I wish it was a little longer.
When I was younger, and I would that little age between 9 and 12 when you don't have a car yet, you really just on bike, so you're watching a lot of TV. And my channel of choice was ESPN, so I was like a fan of all sports. I was following like the Edmonton Oilers back then, like Messi and what's the name, Curie, and all these guys here, and the Great One and all that. And I was really into tennis at the time, and my favorite thing to do was after my grandfather mows the grass, it'd have the stripes on it, so I'd go outside and ball off the rack on the roof and play with the tennis ball off the roof for 20, 30 minutes a day, man, and just be pretending. I really, in my mind, I was at Wimbledon. I could hear
Can
it.
you
I
imagine
was
these?
something
It's
about that
such a
grass,
different
man.
life. I used to throw the football to myself too in the backyard.
I
Throw
did that.
passes to
That was my
myself.
look. If
I'm
I
Montana. I'm Rice.
I'm telling you, I'm the quarterback and the receiver. I did
Yeah,
all
just
day
throw the
long,
ball.
man. All that I played by
Now they
myself,
got
man.
so much entertainment, they never get out there.
Yeah, because it's just a different world, man. It's just a
Yeah, it
different
is.
world. I'm trying my best to get my 8-year old off of the iPad. It's the worst mistake I made was buying him an iPad at 4, thinking that so when we're flying or something, this will keep him busy. Worst
Yeah.
mistake ever. Worst mistake ever. Now you have to prime to get outside, and he's like the tallest kid in his class and runs like a gazelle. But
Yeah.
he loves being in the house now because of that iPad. So let's try to get the kids back outside. We're gonna go touch some grass a little in the morning, right? It's a little bit too hot right now, but we'll definitely touch some grass before we get on here in the morning, man, and go do us a little hiking, man. Anything for the people spread before we get out here?
No, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's show. And I know we were kind of, disagreeing earlier talking about this game, but I think we might be on the same side tomorrow. I do definitely want to take one more day though. A lot of people think the finals are too slow. I like
Mm-hmm.
having a couple days to digest what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because maybe, as much, I was complaining a little bit earlier, I do love the NBA and I also love good NBA media. And
Right.
during this time, there's so many good podcasts for me to absorb. There's so many good writers writing solid articles, breaking the games down. It gives me that NFL feel. I think that's one of the attractions of the NFL is, I'm a Raiders fan. After the Raiders win or lose, we have a full week to absorb the loss. And it's so funny because usually I'm so one way or the other on Monday, right? If they win, we're going to the playoffs. Everything's great.
Right.
If we lose, trade everybody. The coach sucks. The draft picks suck. But by Thursday or Friday, right, you mellow out, And during
Right.
the NBA season, we don't get that,
Right.
because it's just game after game, back to back. Here we go.
Hopefully we do. Silver seems like he's heard your cry, and he seems
Yeah.
like he really wants to cut back the games. But I think he's going to get hell from the PA because they want to keep that money and those fat checks rolling in for the players because they're going to have to cut the contracts just a little bit. If they decide to cut the games, because they get
Maybe
games.
if they do it right, they should get better ratings because the games will matter. Like, what was the game? I mean, there's so many games I can think of, that were high profile game. Nets versus Sixers, or Bucks for so and so, and then it's like, well, Giannis isn't playing, or KD ain't playing,
They
or
should
Embiid
take
ain't
Christmas
playing.
as their first day, or some people are saying Martin Luther King Day because they're saying that NFL is trying to jack Christmas from them because it
They're
seems like
going to.
NFL has been putting some nice product on Christmas, and I think they're aiming to take that day from them. If they're smart, Silver goes and calls Goodell, and they have a sit down. He understands his position right now is that they don't really have the leverage. If they want to, kind of get out the lane, but maybe they like the lane they're in because if you look at the NBA, they're in a different segment. The type of things just like they were wearing the shirts the other day, talking about some social justice matters. It's a little different. It seems like in the NBA, Goodell to me does it, but he doesn't go as far as the NBA. It seems like it's almost part of their identity. You know what I mean? So I don't know if they're in that lane that they're catching money that the NFL is missing because it might be a segment of the country that really enjoys nothing but NBA and turns a nose at the NFL, just as I know it's a segment of the country that loves the NFL and turns its nose at the NBA. So
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people I know that watch NFL and not NBA. Not too many. I don't probably have one or two friends. And it's funny, my couple friends that do, they weren't born in America. Right. They're like foreign. So, they came from, so I understand the basketball's appeal. There's more international players. It's if you don't grow up with football, it's a little different, right? So where to us, I mean, it's been what you do Sunday every fall since I was 5 years old. I remember watching with my dad, I remember Super Bowl parties. I've never been to an NBA Finals party when I was a kid. Probably never even been to one now,
Because it's nothing. It's always the singularity of the games and the finality of the games. You know how everything is so important for each game. Even when you go back to as a kid, when you played middle school, you might have 8 games. I remember my schedule in middle school, JV, 10 games. you couldn't lose. You had it was if you lost one game, you in your mind you weren't the best team in that area because it wasn't playoffs or things like that. So football is always from even as kids we're taught to take it as being a very, very, very important event just to have that game, you know, and all that goes with it. In the NBA, just like in high school, you remember I didn't play basketball, you know, but my friends did. I could have played. I just didn't have time for it. It was too time consuming. They had too many games. I didn't even go to the games, you know, that, you know, were going on. Like I might come to one game on a Friday, but I'm not coming to the Tuesday game. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's just unfortunate with the way that the sport is set up. Like anything, it's in your face too much. So after you see it so much and so much, you grow tired of it fast, you know.
Exactly.
Whereas in the NFL, it's just perfectly timed with it being, you know, a weekly thing. And now they're doing really smart moves with doing the Thursdays. But as I said, they're moving into the lane of taking Christmas from the NBA. I think the NBA should really maybe think about getting with them, sitting down, either saying, hey, we're going to get Christmas. You guys don't do any games on Christmas. You help us cross promote and let us have Christmas as the kickoff to our season. We'll shorten it, or either they start from Martin Luther King Day and make that a big event since they have games all over. And it would be fit also kind of the way they're advertising crowd already. You know what I mean? By them going with MLK Day as the first day. But I really
that's
hope
a great idea. And they blew it. They blew it when that pandemic happened. They had the perfect opportunity to move the finals back. And I actually like last year's season better. I liked it because I could watch college basketball. This year I got to barely watch any. Last year there was the full month before NBA. So I at least got to watch, you know, a little bit of college basketball, right? And if you think about it, look how much the NFL promotes college football. They understand it's their feeder system. They don't get in their way, right? They work together because they say, hey, you're giving us these guys ready to go, ready-made stars, right? You know, going in the NFL draft, it overshadows NBA games being played that day. Just who's getting picked, you know. So, and it's because of college football.
And look at the NBA; they go against their league. They start the G League to compete with college.
Yeah, it's just they shoot themselves in the foot in a lot of ways. So, but regardless, we're gonna have a good time breaking down the game tomorrow. And like I said, you know, hey, I get another, you know, almost 24 hours to think about it. But you know, I'm right now. I feel like it's going 7, so we wouldn't be surprised to see a little zigzag action here tomorrow. And that's the way I'm leaning. But hey, you know, I'm gonna check up some stuff. I like watching the guys that know more than me that actually break down the plays because you know.
Right.
I was telling a friend, I said, you know, there's a difference between knowing how to bet basketball and actually knowing basketball.
Right.
I can bet basketball really well.
Right.
I couldn't coach a team.
Right.
I don't know what to do. Like I don't know how to make those adjustments that everybody.
To this day, I don't understand if the coach ever calls plays or if he just lets the point guard do his thing, call his own plays, and tell him before maybe like brief him at the time. I was like, hey, look to doing this and that. I think most of the times in the NBA, most of the point guards are calling their own, you know, stuff. But it's amazing to me how, like for instance, Golden State is one of them. They'll just be playing coming down the court.
Well, they run like a read and react. They have barely any. They don't have like set plays. They have like concepts.
Right. Well, one of these concepts, it looks so like a set play when sometimes they run 3 straight, just coming down, kind of playing motion, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, hit you with a double pick and a step. You know that's a play. You know that they call.
They have the screens and everything are set, and the motions are set, but where the ball's going isn't set.
Okay.
You know, whereas like when we grew up and they taught us the little plays, right? You went through the post, you ran a pick and roll.
Right.
You know, if you got double teamed in the post, he passed out. If not, the guy just went 1-on-1. I mean, it's a little more complex, but
definitely. They're playing like all that started from the Lakers, from what I see from watching that winning time. Seems like the coach that never got any credit pretty much started that because that's all he talked about. No, before Paul Westphal, his teacher, I forgot the guy's name. I named him on here before. I'll say it next time. He's the one that had the bicycle accident and hit his head and ended up with Paul Westphal ended up getting the team because of that. But this guy was the one who taught Paul Westphal this whole motion, free movement, up-tempo type of basketball. But yeah, we look forward tomorrow, man, to talk about the NBA Finals. I'm sure Draymond Green sent Ronnie a lot of texts that said, I got you, you know. So
All right. On that note, we out of here. I'm not
On that
topping
note,
that.
man, we'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Later.